Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Dricus du Plessis up against Sean Strickland, UFC 297. Everyone's looking forward to this. Are you feeling that buzz on the ground? It feels big, right?
Yeah, well, it is big. So that's might be the reason why it feels that way. But now to answer your question, in South Africa, speaking to the guys back home, a lot of the team, a lot of the family, there's so many people coming through. It's incredible. It's the other side of the world, but in South Africa, I mean, just watching social media and the support I've been getting from very influential people back home, Springbok rugby players, stars over there in the music entertainment industry. It's absolutely amazing, and just seeing social media blowing up, and my brother and the rest of the team, everybody I speak to back home, they just says it feels like as soon as I left and the first post was made of me being in Canada, I already left. It's almost everybody knew that this is always a sign that it's very very close, and he says it's almost there's a buzz in the whole country.
How much tape do you watch? He's got such an awkward style, and it really came to the fore against Izzy. It worked so well for him. Were you impressed by that?
Yeah, I was impressed that he got the win. Was I impressed by the style? No, I was impressed by the fact that he could implement his style. And yeah, I watch a lot of tape. I think me and my coaches, especially my head coach, and every coach that I have in specific areas, we all watch tape, and the whole team watches tape. The sparring partners, the people we get in, we make sure everybody watches the tape because everybody has a expertise. Everybody knows what's this about, and sometimes somebody sees something that I didn't necessarily see or my coach didn't see, and that's why we are such a great team. Everybody gives their input, and with his style, there's things you need to take note of, and I think. Well, that was the mistake Adesanya made. He didn't take note of those things. He just saw a guy that is not on his level, and he went out there and he wasn't prepared for the man that is Sean Strickland. But I didn't make that mistake, and believe me, I won't make that mistake. I am prepared.
Your confidence shines through. You're convinced you're going to finish him. Why are you so convinced?
Well, I'm convinced because I find a way to win always, and in 99% of those times, that win comes via finish. And I'm convinced because I put in the work. I'm convinced, like every other fight, like I was convinced I was going to finish Robert Whittaker. In fact, I was so convinced that I was going to finish Robert Whittaker that I told everybody at the press conference exactly how I'm going to finish Robert Whittaker. In fact, I was so convinced that Israel Adesanya thought that he was manifesting me beating Whittaker in the first round so he can fight me. Where I said, I think it was this exact channel where I said, I will make sure to finish Whittaker in the second round just to show Adesanya that even my manifestation is better than his. And that's exactly how it happened. And I called the TKO in the second round. And that was purely not because of arrogance, 100% because I visualized it because I trained visualization. I visualized it because I was training for that to happen. That wasn't a lucky jab that landed. That was the second jab of that sequence. We trained for that. We trained for this, and it's all up to my opponent to decide where this fight's going. But then you get guys like a Brad Tavares who won't go away, and that was all on him. That wasn't my. I didn't hit softly in that fight. My hands were swollen the next day. I was catching that kind of bombs. He was just too tough for his own good, and that's what makes amazing fights. And think there's a big chance we're going to see this in the Sean Strickland fight, where he is going to be tough enough to take it. But the fact that it's 5 rounds and everybody says he has this pace, and that's great. The fact that it's 5 rounds is going to make the chances of me finishing him a lot bigger. Because if he lasts out for 3 rounds, I have two more rounds to be doing what I do.
The brawl seemed to added a bit of spice to the whole thing. Did he really bite you?
Well, I could feel something like that, but with that adrenaline, I didn't even realize it was a bite. I remember thinking, did this guy try to bite me? Because he was grabbing my head and pulling it down to the side and almost just shrugged him to the floor. And yeah, I guess that was the biting action. But no, I didn't have any marks of biting. I think it was this ear. It looks like it was in war already. So, I mean, it might have been that one.
There's been a lot of focus on the pre-fight. I think it's helping to promote the fight as well. You know, he's seemingly had a really tough childhood. Do you feel sorry for him, or is it tough to let those emotions get into it?
Yeah, I feel sorry for him as a kid. No, yeah, as a kid, no kid deserves that. It's not your choice. That's the hand you got dealt. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of kids in the world, all over the world. A lot of people all around us that's been through that, and that's sad. But that's part of that's life. It's not fair. Life's not fair, but it is. That's the way it is. And I'm sorry that happened to him. I really am, but it happened to him. That's it. I mean, that's a part of it. Me saying what I said. Did I want to get under his skin? Sure, but did I go to that press conference with that idea in mind? No. No. What happened was in that press conference, which was very clear, I was very respectful throughout the whole press conference, and I was answering questions as the way they were asked. And he threw a couple of jabs early in the press conference that I didn't respond to, because it's Sean Strickland. But I said, okay, I'll let it slide, and then he took his chance to try and bully me, and I wasn't going to let that slide. And I said what I said. Would I do it again? Yes. I would say the exact same thing. But that was just to show him that, you think you can break people on a mic. I'll show you how to break somebody on a mic. And yeah.
It's created a bit of debate over where the line is. Not just this, but in recent weeks, where does the line exist for you in what you can and can't say, or what you can broach?
Yeah, I mean, there's an obvious line. I mean, we all live in a society. There's a line. But then you have to realize you're sitting with fighters. Firstly, all is fair in love and war. That's the old saying. So you have people go, listen, do I think that joking about somebody's parents who died? No, I do not. I don't think that's right. But do I think it's fine to call you out on something that you were joking about? He kept on saying that I was joking about him being abused. Well, either it was not true, that would make it a joke, but it's true because he spoke about it. He outed it to the world. He made a joke of it, not me. He made the joke that more people should be drunk, raging, and beating their kids, not me. I didn't make that joke. That was the joke. I didn't make a joke. I spoke fact. I spoke fact. And he outed it to the world. If he never said that, nobody would have even known about it. And he was making a joke of it, not me. So yeah, there's of course there's a line. I mean, the line is pretty clear. Him, joking about somebody who can't dodge a bus. That was somebody's life, and that's crossing a line. And it depends on who you ask, of course. But don't go crossing lines. And your one line when that's being crossed, now you want to make a scene. No. If you're a guy that's going to cross lines, your line's going to be crossed. And that's the way the world works. We reap what you sow. That's it.
Do you think when it's all said and done, you guys end up having a beer together?
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually quite fond of Sean Strickland, his style, the way he's funny. When I see him on social media, he's a funny guy. I really enjoy him as a character, even as a fighter. Now, I have a lot of respect for him, and I enjoy it. Now, this is nothing personal. Nothing personal. Well, to me at least. Maybe he doesn't want to have a beer with me, but of course.
I was interested to see that, you're not a fan of Khamzat getting the next title shot. What do you see as a likely scenario if I put it to you? You knock out Sean Strickland, you defend against Khamzat because that seems to be what the UFC wants. And then down the line, you go for the light heavyweight belt.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like you laid it out pretty perfectly.
Is that also something that you see?
Yeah, I think, am I willing to say that I'm definitely defending against Khamzat? No. I saw a lot of reports saying that Izzy is there. We'll see what he wants to do. To me, it honestly doesn't really matter. I'm there to be the champion and do what I have to do as a champion, defend my belt. Obviously, I want to go up eventually in my career and go for the second belt. But right now, everything ends for me. It's like you have a date with destiny. I have a date with destiny next week, Saturday. Nothing in my life goes past that. I don't even know what I'm doing the next day. I don't even think about anything happens. No plans makes any difference to me. There's no plans for the rest of my life. My life ends on Saturday night. I'm either gonna be the champion of the world or I'm gonna die trying, and that is the fact.
Difficult to kind of follow up with this question though, but in terms of destiny, because of everything that's happened and his status in the sport, especially the division, Izzy's back in training. Does it feel destined to happen, that it's got to happen one day, that it will happen, and maybe probably not so far down the line as we once thought?
Does it feel destined to fight Izzy? No. What does feel destined is that there's an event in Africa. That feels like destiny. To me, that's my destiny. To go and take the UFC to Africa. That's what I want to do. And if you throw Israel Adesanya, and that makes destiny a whole lot more interesting. But is my destiny to fight Adesanya? Absolutely not. But would I love to fight Adesanya on African soil, on my home soil of South Africa? I would love nothing more.
It's such a funny sport, isn't it? The highs, the lows, the weird stuff that happens. I mean, you've been in Octagon, one of your rivals calling you the N-word in front of a max packed crowd. How do you go through the mind, and like, is it just another crazy moment in your career and in this sport?
Man, we are modern day gladiators. That's what we are. It's crazy. It's the most unique sport in the world. There's you get in there alone, but it's a team sport. You Without your team, you're nothing. You can be 100% prepared and have the worst performance of your life. You can be 10% prepared and knock the guy out of the first shot. It's like unlike any other sport in the world. If you have a football team and they are on paper, they are ranked number 20. They are not going to beat the number one ranked team. That never happens. Once in every, it doesn't even happen every season. That's not how it works. It's a team who has the best preparation, the best coaches, the best everything, the best players at the top that compete with each other. But in fighting, in MMA, in modern day gladiatorism, if you want to call it that, on any day, anybody can beat everybody. And that's what makes this sport so amazing and so exciting. I can go out there and knock Sean Strickland out with the first punch I throw. But it can happen it can happen the other way around, just like that. And that's what makes this amazing. And this is a live by the sword, die by the sword type of sport. And it's absolutely incredible. Like you said, now we are one of the very few sports who still have freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, in terms of you get a stage, you get a mic and say what you're going to say. You have to face the consequences of that, and you reap the benefits of that. And that's one thing that I admire from the company, Dana, and the powers that be, that they give all the fighters that they give you that right to go out and say whatever you want, how you want to portray yourself to the world. That's your prerogative, but they give you a stage, they give you a mic, and we are not told to say anything. You're not told to do anything. Do whatever you like, but as long as it's within the laws. Go right ahead and best of luck to you.
Different, isn't it? It's just different. We're gonna wrap up with a little quick fire. Like, I've tweaked it from, because we did one I think 6 months ago. So who's the smartest fighter in the UFC?
The smartest fighter in the UFC. Oh wow. Are we talking like IQ or are we talking fighting wise?
Who just
Like
seems to
in
be
the
who just seems to be a very smart person in the UFC?
well, definitely not Sean Strickland. But a smart guy, I have to say, I think a guy like Conor McGregor is super smart. He's always on the trigger quick. He always has something to say. He looks like a smart guy.
Who's the scariest guy in the UFC? Or girl?
The scariest. Sergey Pavlovich. I have to say, like, listen, Tom Aspinall, one incredible fighter. He is also, in my opinion, the next step in the evolution of the sport. But I wouldn't want to be in there with Sergey Pavlovich. If I could ever have the choice, I would not choose him.
What's the best combat sports movie ever?
Well, the one that got me hooked to the sport is Never Back Down, the very first one. Absolutely incredible. My favorite combat sports movie series is Undisputed with Yuri Boyka. From one to no, number one was with Wesley Snipes. No, from number two with Michael J. White till number four. That or number five with Yuri Boyka. That is the best combat movie series. That's amazing. Yeah,
What's your favorite drink?
Undisputed. Castle Light beer.
Best city to fight in?
Obviously, the fighting capital, Las Vegas.
Favorite musician or band?
Favorite? Oh, that's such a hard question. That's not fair. I have such a wide array of music taste. I'm um, I'm a rock guy. I like rock. Obviously, Eminem. Love Eminem. Love his stuff. She's favorite band. That's Blink 182. Has to be one of my all-time favorite bands.
Nice. Yeah, nice. And then nicest person in MMA.
The nicest person. Well, anybody that's ever met Wonderboy, I know it feels wrong to say Wonderboy because everybody probably says Wonderboy. So I'm not gonna choose him, but he is truly the nicest guy ever. Nicest person in MMA has to be mm, Brandon Moreno.
Nice. Who, if you could be any comic book character or superhero, who would it be?
Uh, I'll go for Thor. Yeah, God of Thunder.
Who's the most famous phone number in your phone?
The most famous phone number on my phone. Probably Dan Bilzerian's. Yeah, yeah, Dan Bilzerian, definitely.
What's the most important item in your fridge and why?
The most important item in my fridge is definitely sparkling water. That is the most important thing in my fridge because if I get to my fridge in the middle of the night, I don't want water. I want sparkling water. And if there's no sparkling water, it feels like there's nothing on earth I can do right now than to drive to a store in the middle of the night because there's nothing that can fight that urge to drink a cold bowl of sparkling water in the middle of the night.
Who would make the best wingman in the UFC?
The best wingman in the UFC. Oh wow. I the best wingman. So you shouldn't want to have them for himself because there's a few of those. I think the best. I think Ilya Tapora will be a great wingman. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm fond of him. We're good mates. I think he's a cool dude. Have a lot of respect for him. I think we would slay if we would teaming up together.
Great answers. Well, that kind of follows on, but who would be the most fun on a night out?
Yeah, I think the Mystic Mac knows how to party. That's for sure. I've had a great time with Michael Chiesa. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, funny enough, I think a guy like Darren Till looks like he can have some fun. Um, I asked him to have a beer after the fight, but we got lost. We lost each other, but it looks like he knows how to have a great time.
What do you want to be remembered for in this sport?
Being the greatest fighter to ever walk this earth.
Strong. And last one, quick prediction for Costa Whitaker.
Interesting. I think Whitaker is going to break it.
Respect,
Yeah.
Dricus. Nice one, man. Been trying to make this happen for weeks. Glad we got it done. Always a pleasure. Good luck.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.